Now this chapter is going to help us graph and write linear equations, but before we graph or write linear equations, let's go ahead and start with the slopes first. Now, we know in middle school that slope is basically the steepness of the line. So for example, I have two lines here. For example, this line and my second line is this one. So my left arm has this line while my right arm has the other line. Okay, so which one here do you think is which line here do you think is steeper? Now from these two lines, it looks like this line is steeper, okay, steeper than my left arm. So I would say that this line is steeper than this. So let's go ahead and start plotting first. Let's have -2 and 3. Now here's a -2, and here's okay. What's that? -2, 3's. Here's a -2 of x, and then 3 of y. Here you go. So that's our -2. And then the second point is 7, 5. Your 7 is x, while your 5 is y. There you go. So here I got -2 and 7, 5. Now if I connect those 2 points, I will be forming, okay, if I draw a line passing those 2 points, now I have a line here. So the question here is, what is the slope of this line passing points -2, 3, and 7, 5. Now, remember in middle school we learned about rise over run. So here, I just want you to make sure that you always go up. So start from the bottom point. Here in these 2 points, this is the bottom point. So you always start from the bottom point and always go up. Again, always go up. That's why we have the word rise. Now for the run, now it's up to you whether you're going to go left or right. Now, let's do the rise over run first. Okay, so from negative, because -2, 3 is the bottom point, we have to, okay, let's try to draw a triangle first. Here you go, from that point, I'll draw a right triangle, there you go, and now I have a right triangle. Now that I have a right triangle, we can go ahead and start from the bottom point by counting the number of ups. So you have 1 and 2. So your slope is 2. And then you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. We have, let's double check that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we have 2 over 9. You go up twice, and then you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 times to the right. Now, you went up twice and you went to the right 9 times. Now, is the sign going to be positive or negative? Again, you always go up. When you run to the right, it's going to be positive, and then when you right to the left, then it's going to be negative. You go up, and then you went right, that's why your slope is positive. So for a rise over run, we can say you went up, and then right. Okay. So I would say the graph is diagonal to the right. Okay, once again, you plot the 2 points. After applying 2 points, draw a line passing those 2 points. After drawing a line passing those 2 points, and then draw a right triangle. Now, if you notice this, from the bottom point, you went up and then you went to the right. You went up twice, and then you went to the right 9 times. Okay, let's move on to the second part. For the second part here, we have a starting point at 4, -1. Now first, we have to plot 4, -1. Here we go. 4, -1 is here. That's our 4, -1. Next, we have a slope of -2/7. So for -2/7, you gotta remember -2/7 is slope, and that is a rise over run. Okay? Because the rise over run is -2/7, that means you went up twice. That means you have to go up twice, and you have to run to 7 times. Now, what's going to be your direction when you run? Are you going to go left or right for this slope, -2/7? Let's try this. Okay? First, we have that point 4, -1. Now, because our slope is -2/7, and we know the numerator is going to be the rise, and 7 is going to be your run, first we go up twice. 1, 2. And then you go now. This time, you gotta remember when you do the rise, you always go up. This time for the run, are you gonna be going left or right? Gotta remember that negative should always go to your run, because the rise will always be going up, and then for the run you decide whether you go left or right. Now that we have negative, we have to go to the left, so you go up 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's going to be your second point. Okay, and your ending point is going to be at -3 and 1. -3, 1. But of course, from your second point, it looks like you went up and then left. Again, you went left because of negative sign. And then obviously, here you go. It is a diagonal line going to the left. Here you go. Okay, first plot the point, and then look at your slope, -2/7. That means you go up twice, and then you go to the left 7 times. Why do you have to go to the left? Because the slope is negative. The slope is negative. So your rise over run is, again, as you can see, you always go up. Now you decide whether you go left or right according to the sign. This is positive, the slope is positive. I'm sorry, the slope is negative. That means you go up, you go to the left. For the first one, 2/9, you go up and then right. Okay. Slope is also known as the rate of change. So the rate of change is a ratio between change in variables over a specific period of time. It is also called a slope. Now, for the first one, we have -2, -5. What you need to do is plot -2, -5 first, -2, -5. Okay? And then 1, 6, 1, 6. To find the slope, again, you always start from the bottom. Always start from the bottom and then count, draw a line. If you want, you can draw a line here. Okay. You can draw a line passing those 2 points. Again, you gotta remember, your first point is at -1, -2, -5. Second point is 1, 6. Now, try to figure out now the number of ups, the number of rise, and the run. Okay, Now, a while ago, I told you to draw a right triangle so it's easier for you to figure out the number of your slope. So again, you always start from the bottom point, and then here you go. Now if you noticed, I went up and then right. So that means my slope is going to be positive. So I went up and right. So here you go. Now how many ups then? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then how many run? 1, 2, 3. So my slope is 11/3. It is positive because I went to the right. Again, you always go up from the bottom. You always go up. Now, what if you don't have a graph paper? What if you don't have this graph? And all you have to do is just find the slope without the graph. That's why I'm going to give you the formula, okay, for the slope. The formula for the slope is going to be, let me erase that one. Okay, the formula for the slope is m is equal to y2 minus y1 and then x2 minus x1. Now what do you mean by y2, y1, x2? Okay, now you got 2 points. Because you got 2 points, you can go ahead and label them with x1, y1, x2, y2. Now, first, make sure you know how to label x1, y1, and then x2, y2. And then second, memorize the formula for the slope. Now, according to the formula of the slope, we have y2 minus y1. From the labeling, your y2 is 6, minus your y1 is -5. From the labeling again, your x2 is 1 minus your x1 is -2. Now, using your mental math, 6 minus -5 is actually 6 plus 5 because negative times negative is positive. So 6 plus 5 is, or if you want, you can use a calculator for 6 minus -5 is going to give you 11. And then 6 minus -2 is going to give you 3. And your slope is 11/3. Now you can do this if you don't want to graph, plot your points, and then if you don't want to graph your line. So you have the formula to solve for the slope. Now, how about this? I need you to try this one now on your own. Okay, at this point you should be able to label. You should be done labeling the points x1, y1, x2, y2. And I'll just go ahead and help you with the setup. Now, please make sure you have the same setup here. 3 minus -4 and -2 minus 5. Here you go. Okay, figure that out now. 3 minus -4 is 7. -2 minus 5 is -7. 7 over -7 is -1. Okay, what does that mean? It means that your slope is a line that goes to the left. You go up and then you go to the left. Again, you always go up. You always go up. You always go up. You go up and then decide whether you go to left or right. Because your slope is negative, you go up and then you go to left. Now, try these two now, really quick. Now, if I were you, I would pause the video and then you can go ahead and solve for the two questions. Okay, for the first point we got 1, 3. 1, 3 is there. And then 4, 3. 4, 3. Oh, for 1, 3, and 4, 3, it looks like a horizontal line. Here we go. So what would be the slope of a horizontal line? We'll see. Again, I'm not going to label this with x1, y1, x2, y2 because I already know that the first point is x1, y1, second point is x2, y2. Okay? Now I have 3 minus 3 and then 4 minus 1. 4 minus 1. It seems that we have 3 minus 3 is 0 and then 4 minus 1 is 3. 0 divided by 3 or by using calculator, 0 divided by 3 is going to give you 0. So what I can say right now is that if you have a horizontal line, your slope is 0. Let me try the second one. Right now we got negative 2, 1. Negative 2, 1 is there. And then negative 2, 6. Oops. Negative 2, 1, negative 2, 6. If you draw a line passing those 2 points, you're going to have a vertical line. Let's see what would be the slope of it. Again, x1, y1, x2, y2. The formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So that would be 6 minus 1. And negative 2 minus negative 2. So 5 over negative 2 minus negative 2 should give you 0. When you use your calculator and divide 5 by 0, you will get a message there that is error. Okay? Error in the calculator means it's not being defined. The calculator cannot divide a number by 0. In mathematics, we cannot divide a number by 0. Okay? Because we cannot divide a number by 0, we call it, I need you to familiarize the big word, undefined. Undefined is when you divide a number by 0. So I can say that for a horizontal line, the slope is undefined. My bad. For a vertical line, the slope is undefined. For a horizontal line, the slope is 0. While for the vertical line, the slope is undefined. Okay, now, here, given a point and a slope, all you have to do is to just graph it. Given a slope and a point, graph it. Let's start with 0, negative 5. 0, negative 5 is here. 0, negative 5 is along the y-axis, negative y-axis. Okay? Because my slope is 1 over 7. You gotta remember, 1 over 7 is your slope, which is a rise over run. You go up 1 time, you go to the right 7 times. Why do you have to go to the right? Because it's positive. Now, here we have a slope of negative 3. You go up negative 2 over 3. That means you go up twice, and then you go to the left 3 times. So right now, starting from 0, negative 5, you go up 1 time, you go to the right 7 times. 1, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is going to be your graph. Done. Slope, point, and then slope. Up 1 time, 7 to the right because it's positive. Let's try the second one. How about if we have 4, negative 2? First, plot 4, negative 2. Okay. Now, let's apply the slope. The slope is negative 2. If you notice, guys, I'm using the symbol M for the slope. Okay? So m stands for the slope. So the slope here is negative 2 over 3. That means from the given point you go up twice. Because it's negative, you have to go to the left. Again, you always go up. So here we go. From that point you go up 1, 2, and then 3 to the left. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Again, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Here you go. And that's going to be your graph when you connect, when you draw a line passing those 2 points. Okay, now let's go to the third one. We have a line that's passing negative 3, 4. Negative 3, 4 is there. But the slope is 0. Now we learned that if you have a slope of 0, if the slope is 0, the graph is going to be a horizontal line. So basically, you just have to really just draw a line that's a horizontal line that's passing that point. That's it. That's how easy it is. Okay? Next, move on to 5-1. 5-1 is there. Now, the slope is undefined. If the slope is 0, we have a horizontal line. If the slope is undefined, it will be a vertical line then. So that means you just have to draw a line passing point 5-1, which is actually just a vertical line. There you go. Easy, huh? Okay, now, how about given these points, then we have to find the slope. Let's start with labeling the vertices of the polygon. Negative 8, 6. Point A is negative 8, 6. Okay, I think that would be your A. Then 3, 6. 3, go. B, okay. C is 5, 0. 5, 0 is there. T is 3, negative 7. 3, negative 7, that's our D. And then E is negative 8, negative 5. Negative 8, that's our E. Okay, question here is find the slope following segments. So let's start with AB. AB, it looks like AB is a horizontal line. Again, what is the slope of a horizontal line? Next, BC. So BC is a diagonal line. So you got 2 points, B and C. But which point is on the bottom? It's C. Now remember, for the slope, it's rise over run. Rise over run. You always go up. So that's why we always start from the bottom. So you go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2. So I have 6 over 2. But wait, I went up and then left. That's why it becomes negative. So negative 6 over 2 is actually negative 3 for the lowest term of negative 6 over 2. Next, let's move on to, where we're now, CD. CD is another diagonal line. Start from the bottom point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2. CD is 7 over 2. It's positive because I went up and then right. How about DE? Now, D is my lower point. So that means I have to go up 1, 2, and then 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I have 11 over 2. Because I went left, it's going to be negative. And now I have EA. EA is a vertical line, so the slope is undefined. Whew. That was quick. Now I need you to figure out what's wrong in this process. Okay. After doing this, just go back to www.marlonmorales.com and finish the quiz.